morning. My name is Viveka Edwards.
And my name is Botanical Edwards.
My name is Stevie Henry, and today we're going to be telling you about how track has to deal with nutrition, math, and also science.
During the 6 weeks we've been in this program, we actually went on a series of field trips, which were we went to the lagoon where we took part in exercises. Then we went to the lagoon. We went to the physical therapist, and we went to the CrossFit Center in Orange Grove.
While in this program for the 6 weeks, we learned how to balance our nutrition and learn that athletes eat more than a regular person and they need more water to drink.
During the 6 weeks that we were in this program, we actually did learn a lot, especially the fact that when you drink more water and when you eat healthier, it helps you to develop a better progress in running. And while we were researching, we noticed that eating more does have to deal with running faster and having more metabolism, because it helps you maintain a great speed.
We also wanted to know like what makes a runner faster. Like for instance, a short person and a tall person. What is the advantage of a taller person? Is it because their legs are longer that they would win, or because their legs are shorter that they would win? And we actually found out that it doesn't matter what's your height, as it actually depends on how much arm swings you make. It determines your distance and how much distance you will cover on a track. Thank you.
One more thing, it's not only beneficial to have a healthy diet because it makes you run faster, but it reduces drinking water, reduces chronic disease, it fuels your performance, it improves skin and bone health, it maintains energy, and it helps you to develop a healthy relationship with not only food but healthy foods.
Thank you, and that's the end of our presentation.
This is our trash to treasure progress. We use recycled stuff such as cardboard, toilet paper rolls, bottles, detergent bottles, and a lot of other great stuff. Our mission was to use unnecessary trash such as bottles and recycled stuff and make them to productive, marketable stuff. So,
So basically, we did some research and we found out that, well, obviously, most of us think that when we throw away something that it disappears, but obviously that's not the case. And most of our waste, it affects the environment in ways that it really is really bad. And like right here it says, in fact, researchers believe that 50% of the plastic used is discarded right away after the first use. So with that in mind, we can only imagine the amount of plastic that is thrown away like every day, every week, every year. And so we thought that we would have to do something about that.
So basically our goal was to lessen the amount of plastic bottles that we throw away, and we basically made some futurable marketable items, as you can see here. A lot of these things are a lot of household items or jewelry holders or simple pencil organizers that were all recycled. And it's as simple as getting an idea and trying it at home with the simple plastic bottles that you have. So yes. And right now we're going to have a demonstration of one of the items that we made. This is a jump rope made out of plastic bags that we simply just cut up and braided it in. And the tips are also plastic bottles here. So.
We also have here a napkin holder. This was made from a laundry detergent bottle. These are these are made to roll up keep your napkins neatly rolled if you want to look fancy when you're dinner. We just made these flowers from plastic bottles. We just cut off the tops and spray painted them and cut them in a flower design. We also have here some candle holders. We cut same prospect as this. We cut up the top of a soda bottle instead and spray painted it. I would recommend this more for show than anything because technically this isn't the best idea for a candle holder. We also have here a laundry basket where you put your dirty clothes in after you wear them. It's still a work in progress because you see it's a lot of water bottles you have to glue together.
As you can see, also we made a plastic.
Alright, so in all of that, this is our final product for recycling bottled waters and the uses of them.
Eating meat is nutritious in a way. There are two main types of meat, processed meat and red meat, and also white meat. Processed meat is in those bags, those cans. Meat is nutritious in a way. Eating too much meat could give you problems such as cancer, diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, and endometriosis. Rheumatoid arthritis is a chronic progressive pain in your fingers, your wrists, your feet, and your ankle. Endometriosis is also a chronic disease in your pelvic pain in your tissue. Read it.
So basically, eating vegetables lowers the risk of many other problems that meat gives you, and it usually gives you more endurance than it would if you eat a lot of meat. But the problem with it is that it doesn't give you as much nutrients and protein as meat. So basically, it gives you a problem where basically you can't produce as much red and white blood cells. But that's pretty much the worst it gets, as going as far as what it actually causes.
The pros and cons of meat. The pros of meat is that it provides you with a lot of protein and it provides you with a good beta iron. The cons of meat now is it gives you diseases and it wastes resources and causes pollution and deforestation. Read this one.
Dude. So, the pros and cons of veggies is that eating vegetables lowers the risk of getting many diseases, and vegetarians usually live a longer lifespan. But of course, eating vegetables, as I said earlier, doesn't give you as much proteins as meat. So basically, it gives you B12, which stops you from making blood cells. And yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of as bad as it gets from inherently eating it.
Processed in meat, they have Giardia duodenalysis and they have Cryptosporidium parvum. Cryptosporidium parvum Cryptosporidium parvum is a disease in your sexual cycle, and this one. Angiogenesis is a cycle in which it goes on and on. And if you watch Monsters Inside Me on YouTube, you'll learn a lot about is it safe about eating meat but no matter what you eat, you're gonna still get sick.
Basically, the reasons people become vegetarians are usually moral reasons, like is it good to kill animals, and some become it, and a lot of people also become vegetarian because they naturally have a hard time digesting meat that they eat. But let's go on.
Giardia dunalis is, as you can read, is a cycle that goes in your body, and it can make you have diarrhea, nausea, and headaches. Cryptosporidium parvum is in your sexual cycle, so when you eat meat, it will give you like pain and causes you to have headache. That's the end of our show. Thank you.
So basically, the best diet to have is to have a healthy portion of both meat and veggies to lower the risk of both of them.
Good day, my name is Jordan Thomas, and we are the Engineering and Construction Group of the STEM Summer Research Project. We present to you St. Croix 2041. Our task this summer was visualizing St. Croix 25 years into the future. First, we had to choose two areas. We chose the Christiansted Harbor area and also the Henry E. Rolson Airport area and its surrounding areas. Before we could make any of these Lego structures, we had to design it in Autodesk 123D Design, which is a simple 3D modeling software. As you can see over here, we have the 3D model of the Christiansted Harbor and also the 3D model of the Henry E. Rolson Airport area. Here we have the seaplane terminal. The seaplane terminal features a more circular design so that it can withstand hurricane winds, and also we added a longer wharf to house more seaplanes at the same time. We added a seaplane hangar so that boats and seaplanes can come if they're in need of repair, or if there is any natural disasters on the way, they can come so that they don't mess up or damage the harbor. We also added a new snack bar area for the guests.
Hi, good day. My name is Liasha.
Oh, you have to present. And my name is Devan Ponce.
And we were in charge of renovating the Christiansted Harbor area, which is a historical district, which meant that before we could do any remodeling of any sorts, we had to read 16 historical preservation guidelines that kept the structural, architecture, and the design of the buildings the same, but it allowed for a few modifications. For example, we added a restaurant to the top of the hotel so that the guests could enjoy their meals, and while they dine, they would have a scenic overview of the harbor. We also added a small staircase so that instead of the guests and the patrons having to go through the hotel to get to the restaurant, they could just use the stairs. We also added a ramp for handicap accessibility.
Here is a modernized hotel. It stands on 7 pillars, which is over the boardwalk. In the front shows a scenic view of the ocean, and in the back is the entrance. Over here is a unique, specialized kind of restaurant that is hexagonally shaped, and it fits the boardwalk well.
Good day, my name is Nicora Cromwell, and I was in charge of renovating King Christian Hotel and Hotel in the Key. In addition to my building, I built the underwater walkway, which serves as an extension from King Christian Hotel to Hotel in the Key. The underwater walkway also increases revenue by highlighting the marine life. It is built from toughened glass, which withstands 2.5 megapascals of pressure. And in order for all this pressure to withstand, the glass has to be 60 centimeters thick. As you can see, King Christian is along the historical district, so I have to preserve the historical look. But what I did to make it futuristic was add in more balconies and larger rooms.
since Hotel in the Key is outside of the district, I was free to design it however. So while I was looking up futuristic hotels, I came up with this design. As you know, Hotel in the Key there's a tree that's built inside of Hotel in the Key, so I inquired it inside of my design. And also there's a boardwalk that extends from the underwater walkway to the Hotel in the Key.
Now, since Christiansted Harbor is part of a historical district, the Virgin Islands Department of Planning and Natural Resource Division for Archaeology and Natural Resource and Natural and Historical Preservation gave us 16 preservation guidelines that we had to follow in order to preserve the historical aspects of the Christiansted Harbor. Natasha Sinanan will also present to you the Henry E. Rolson Airport area.
Good day, my name is Natasha Sinanan, and my group was tasked with Henry E. Rolson Airport. Our vision for the airport was to increase tourism through the expansion of the area, as well as building upon an undeveloped plot of land named Cooper. Here we have Henry E. Rolson Airport. We added a second floor to the main terminal and the third floor, so now we can accommodate flights on the second floor, and we have jetways to accommodate larger aircrafts coming through the Virgin Islands. We added 2 additional hangars, which support additional parking space and a maintenance facility so aircrafts may be fixed on the Virgin Islands. We upgraded the booths to the front and added a helicopter pad to the top of the building. We also added a mosaic wall to the front of the building for futuristic appeal, and we moved the rental car area to the other side of the road in order to accommodate for new space. My partner Rashawn Titus did the newly improved hotel, which is now built on Cooper.
Good day, my name is Rashawn Titus, and today I'll be explaining the new hotel, Titus Towers. It will be located across from the airport in the area called Cooper. It will be a 3-story structure, which includes the rooftop. Right here is the grand entrance, which will be handicap accessible. On the 2nd story, the guests will have balconies so that they can have a scenic view of the area. On the rooftop, there will be a covering for the guests and a rooftop pool. Okay. This structure right here will be a shuttling system for the airport and the hotel to bring guests to and from the airport. This right here is a restaurant, and this will be an arcade. On top of each building, we'll have a garden with glass walls so that the guests can see the garden from outside of the hotel. This right here will be a playground, and this right here will be a nightclub to give the guests extracurricular activities. And right here will be a parking lot. And that's about it.
Good day, my name is Eric Henneman, and this is the Randall Doc James Racetrack area. Our vision for the racetrack first started with a newly improved stand. So the stand now is 3 stories, and the betting area is removed from the bottom, and we place it in a separate building. And to the back of this building, there's a concession stand. To the top of the stand, there's a skybox. And in the skybox, there are 2 VIP rooms which can be rented. The skybox can be accessed through elevators to the back, and in each VIP room there are monitors and binoculars to see the race from a closer view. And here we have a ticket booth which attendees will have to pay before coming on the grounds during events. And here there's the newly improved stables, which are much larger than the previous ones, and has a 2nd floor which drops hay into each separate pen at specific times. And here is the newly built horse track. And that's it for our presentation. Feel free to view the other structures.
Alright, good morning. My name is Narisman Clois.
My name is Amira Mustafa.
And this is our model on St. Croix. As you can see in the carving in the clay, these are our guts. Over here, this is the Frederiksted gut. It may look like a pond, but in actuality is one of our main big guts in Frederiksted. And it lets out directly into the sea near Frederiksted, just right next to the dock. And the water for this gut comes from Concordia and also the hills northwest of the area. We also have guts under the road farther up northwest, and those guts receive water from the hills as well, and they let out directly into the sea. Now the problem with these guts, people tend to throw trash in them. So when the trash gets in them, they're able to go straight out in the sea without anything stopping them. Over here we have Botanical Gardens. The main thing about this gut, this gut is it's two guts that meet up around the entire Botanical Gardens and go straight under the road. So it eventually lead out into the sea or meet up with the agriculture gut. Here at agriculture, we have 3 ponds farther in the back behind agriculture where most people don't go. And the water in these ponds come from the hills by Carambola Golf Course. The water in Carambola Golf Course, it fills up the ponds, and then when they lead down, they tend to come past the Episcopal Church or around the road and come back into the ponds. These ponds would eventually fill up and lead into the bigger gut where everybody passes over on the bridge coming down into the road. Over here, we have the Castleberg gut. It's behind by the National Guard. When it fills up, most people don't see it because it's behind in a dirt road. But when it fills up, it would lead down into the road and meet up with the agriculture gut. Over here, right behind, near UVI by the stoplight, there's a big gut. It looks like a pond, but it's actually one of the guts connected to the Castleberg gut. It eventually connect to the agriculture and lead back into the airport road and all the way back to the landfill leading out into the sea. Now the problem with that gut as well, they're so fairly large and a lot of water passes through them. But a lot of people tend to throw more trash in those areas because they think it's just an area where it's not necessary for us. So what we want to try and work on is to avoiding people throwing trash in there because it's causing a blockway for the water to pass.
And then here in the Christiansted area, we have 3 guts. The first one starts up by Contentment Road and the hills in that area by the bypass, and it comes down past Water Gut and lets out by the sea near the airport. And then we have another one that comes from the hills near Welcome, and it comes down, passes by west of the ballpark, and lets out near Gallows Bay. And then here further east, we have Salgate Bond and Green Key, and these areas, the guts come down from Mount Welcome, and they run alongside East End Road, and they fill out the pond, which is right now dry because of the season, but when it rains, it would fill the pond and then let out into the sea. And these areas are problematic, especially near communities such as Water Gut, because they let water out in rain, but in a tsunami, they're easy paths for water to come in, so those areas will get flooded easily.
Now the programs we use to be able to map out our island and map out the guts are ArcGIS and Google Earth. Now the program ArcGIS, GIS stands for Geographic Information Systems, and this program helps us to see the guts and the watersheds in the area. A watershed is basically where the water may stay under the ground and fill up. Now our guts were easily mapped out on ArcGIS, and with this program it helped us see where they may connect and where they possibly let out into the ocean.
This model that we built it out of styrofoam, and then we layered it with 3 layers of clay. So underneath we put 2 plates of styrofoam together and carved out the island. And then we used a layer of beige clay as the base. And then the hills were clumps of clay that we put together. And then we layered it over again with green. And in areas where we couldn't use the original clay, we blend in yellow and blue clay to get a darker green. But with the grass that we used, it blended in real well.
Now our board itself, the ocean, we had to use 3 different blues. On the farthest out, you see that there's almost like a purplish blue. But to find the middle color, we had to blend the purplish blue with a blue color, with a dark navy blue. And with that, we mixed a baby blue and the blue to make this color right here. and then we use the baby blue as inshore to make it look as realistic as possible. And around the board we have the different areas we visit, some of the different areas we visited. Down here we have the Frederiksted pool. Over here is Botanical Gardens. Over here is at Agriculture Fair, and this is Frederiksted by the dock. Over here is the RT Park, and in front of our school, and this is also Botanical Gardens, and this is also the RT Park, and this is Buccaneer. Yeah, thank you. And also, these toothpicks in every area, these are each area we were able to visit. All these toothpicks and the circles in clay are different ponds, but these toothpicks are the different sites we were able to visit, and these are areas that the guts may pass through or pass by.
You have to present.
Good morning. This is just a maps that we did along our journey. So and these are just the pictures we went. So every time we took a field trip, we like to map them out to see the different guts and where are they located on Google Earth. And these are just some of the pictures that we took while on these field trips. These two are from Carambola. This is from Mannings Bay. This is from Botanical Gardens, and this is Frederiksted. We drew maps of Christiansted, Frederiksted, the golf course in Carambola, and Botanical Gardens.
Okay, so these are the cards we made for our guest speakers. They originally were 4, but we presented one to one of the guest speakers. So on the inside, there's a little message, and they have little cool quotes like Rocka and Johnson and Stay Cool Stevie and stuff like that. And well, this was a collaboration with all the students. Basically worked on little stuff. We added things like shells on the back, little pictures of us, things like that.
Good morning, this is our calendar here. On Mondays, we went to the Technology and Research Park here at UVI to go on Google to look at the images on the ponds, guts, and other surface waters that we visited. On Tuesdays, we had our guest speaker, such as we had the thank you cards for. And on Wednesdays and Fridays, we went on the field trips to look at those areas. Some of the areas were Carambola Golf Course, Southgate Pond, Shanae Bay, around the area of St. Croix to the different locations where we drew the maps.
All right, good morning. My name is Aaron Harris.
My name is Demitrim.
My name is Chelsea Valerie.
And I'm Dani Mustafa.
And this is our presentation, Water Runoff and Storage, and we are the Hydro Heroes. So, as years pass by, water supply has turned into one of the many problems we as a community face in the Virgin Islands. For the past 4 weeks, us 14 high school students from St. Croix Educational Complex and the St. Croix Central High School have come together to try and work on a solution for this problem. The purpose of this project is to fix this problem, and we did this by observing it on Google Earth and collecting data. And we also learned through guest speakers and field trips throughout the various guts across the Virgin Islands. And in this presentation, we will be showing you all the things that we have learned throughout these past 4 weeks. Along the way, we have taken many field trips across the Virgin Islands. These field trips include the Agriculture Fairgrounds, St. George's Botanical Garden, Frederiksted Beach, Estate Bethlehem, Mannings Bay, Bassin Triangle, and Canagator Ballpark.
Background information would include water runoff. Water runoff is precipitation that did not get infiltrated into the soil and did not evaporate, and therefore made its way from the ground surface into places to collect water. It starts at places with high elevation, such as hills or mountains, and it makes its way into the surface or guts. Guts are well-worn established channels that direct stormwater to sea, protecting surrounding land areas. On St. Croix, we have ephemeral guts, meaning they only flow briefly during or immediately after rainstorms or flash floods. Guts can lead to ponds or oceans. Ponds are small bodies of water that were man-made to collect sediment from water runoff and to be used periodically for farming and other natural means. Ponds have been discovered in ancient Mesopotamian times, also known as cradle of civilization, including a 5,000-year-old water basin. Together, ponds and guts work together to prevent flooding and erosion and pollution of our beaches. Some fun facts would be, when we get precipitation on the island of St. Croix, 95% is captured by the watershed and 5% goes directly into the ponds. Of the water, 88% goes to watershed, infiltrates to the top layer of the soil, and 7% is run off. Of the water in the soil, 1 to 6% goes to groundwater, and 82 to 87% evaporates, and the cycle starts again.
Also, throughout these weeks, we've had many guest speakers such as Syedali and Jeffery Johnson. Syedali is from DPNR, and he taught us about groundwater and how it's held in soil, sediment, and igneous rocks underground. Jeffery Johnson is an inspector from DPNR who spoke to us about the process of putting in wells and the dangers such as the distance between wells and hazards that should be avoided when putting wells in place. He also told us that there are over 119 wells on St. Croix, and those wells produce about 3.6 million gallons of water per day. This is a picture of Syedali and pictures of him presenting to us at the St. Croix Educational Complex. Our next guest speaker was Paul Chakraff, who is a private environmental consultant, and he discussed his research with us for the company Tibar, and they have a grassland energy plan, which means that they want to grow king grass, which is a non-reproducing hybrid, to provide the islands with extra energy. He also discussed water quantity and quality, which are key concerns in the project. Here we have a picture of Mr. Paul Chakraff when he was making his presentation to us, also at the St. Croix Educational Complex. And our next guest speaker was Benjamin Coulartz from the Division of Environmental Protection of DPNR, who works mainly with surface waters such as guts, ponds, and oceans. He talked to us about their several programs, such as the UVI Water Pollution Control Program, which protects endangered biological species that lives in the sea and makes sure that the bacterial level in oceans are safe for human swimming and activity. This program uses 138 stations, which takes 1 to 3 weeks to test all sites for bacteria. This presenter presented to us at UVI, and here's some pictures of that. And our last presenter was Mr. Stevie Henry, and he is a geographic information system specialist at UVI. We video chatted with him from the St. Thomas campus, and he discussed to us the ArcGIS program, which has various features to better our community. The Kibera slum in Kenya used this mapping program to get government aid by mapping where several different danger zones in their community were, and the government addressed those issues.
Alright, the first site we went to was the Agriculture Fairgrounds. At the Agriculture Fair, there were many guts that were man-made, And these guts are used for both agriculture needs and to stop sediment from running off into the ocean. One of the ponds that we saw was invaded by a species of plants called water lilies, which stole the water of the pond. This is a picture of a watermill at the agriculture fair. And this is a pond at the ag fair. The next place we went to was Carambola. Water runoff from the surrounding hills would enter the ponds, and a culvert in the first pond would drain the water after it reaches a certain height and take it to the second pond to stop the water from overflowing. And the water in the second pond would eventually lead to a gut that goes to the Calvary Baptist Church, banks around the Holy Cross Episcopal Church, and eventually leads to the ponds at the Agriculture Fairgrounds. And this is a picture of us on our trip to Carambola. This is one of the ponds at Carambola and our TAs. And this is the culvert that drains the water. The next place we went to was the Botanical Gardens. At the Botanical Gardens, there were two guts that were both wide and deep, which means that they both receive a substantial amount of water. And the guts both eventually meet and become one main gut that continues under the street. There was also water mills that was built to use the energy from the flowing waters. This is one of the man-made guts at the Botanical Gardens. So the water would flow down and collect here. This is one of the guts. And this is a culvert under one of the bridges that would take the water from this side to the next side. Then we went to Frederiksted. At Frederiksted, the gut started at Concordia, continued all the way behind the cemetery, past St. Patrick's School, and ended as a main gut near the park that led out at the beach. The source of these guts came from the higher elevation not too far from the sea. Following the main road along the beach heading to Spratt Hall, there were numerous guts that led out at the sea. This is one of the guts that we saw. It's filled with water. This is one of the guts that led out to the sea in Frederiksted. And these are by the Fort Frederick. Then we went to Castleberg. There were two guts that merged at the highway near East Airport Road and continued to the sea by the Anguilla landfill. The first gut started at the pond in the Agriculture Fairgrounds and crossed the road through a culvert. It goes through Orange Grove, past DMV, and around the prison before meeting with the second gut. The second gut starts from a pond in Estate Bethlehem, crosses the Queen Mary Highway, goes through the pastures before merging with the first gut. The width and depth of these guts indicate that a large amount of water passes through them. Since there were no surrounding hills nearby, we concluded that these guts are a result of the merging of smaller guts. And this is the pond that we saw. The last place we went to was Christiansted. We observed 3 guts in Christiansted, which eventually led out at the sea. The first gut runs alongside Contentment Road, wraps behind Ruby Rousehausen, and goes out by the seaport. The next gut came down the hills and runs along Spring Gut Road through Welcome, past the 7-day Adventist School, west of the ballpark, then eventually goes out near Gallows Bay. Finally, we observed Southgate Pond, which is fed by guts that run down from Mount Washington and runs along East End Road. Many of these guts were deep and wide, which led us to conclude that a substantial amount of water passes through them.
Well, in conclusion, as we finish this journey, we have gained knowledge that will benefit us in the long run. Learning about water runoff and storage can help St. Croix prepare for problems that we will face in the future, such as water contamination, droughts, the flow of unused water throughout our communities, and mapping the path of water throughout the island. Not only have we improved our knowledge of water runoff, we have also improved our communication as we have made new friends along the way. Now, due to the limited time frame, we started to test some of the water for bacteria and other contaminants, but it was kind of late, so we didn't have enough time. We hope that our project will make an impact on the community, and St. Croix will take action to preserve one of the most precious resources we have today. We would like to give special thanks to our teachers, Dr. Henry and Ms. Gibbs, our teachers' assistants, Tatiana Hewitt and Kelsey Parija, our guest speakers, Mr. Syedali, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Chakraff, Mr. Coularts, and Mr. Henry, our coordinators, Ms. Bonique and Ms. White, the Department of Education, and last but not least, Complex Administration for letting us work at their classrooms. Thank you.